Hello, and welcome to Tech with Shaping Pixel. This is a free certification exam crash course. This time, we are bringing you Microsoft Certified Information Security Administrator Associate Exam SC-401. This crash course is designed to give you the fastest, most practical path to exam success. In just a short time, you'll learn the core exam domains you must master, real-world scenarios that mirror actual test questions, proven study strategies to boost confidence and cut prep time. No shortcuts, just trusted, actionable knowledge to help you pass your next IT certification exam with confidence. So, grab your notes, stay focused, and let's dive in. Your certification success starts now. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe for more free crash courses and exam tips. The examination encompasses the following primary domains: implement information protection, 30 to 35%, implement data loss prevention and retention, 30 to 35%, manage risks, alerts, and activities, 30 to 35%. Let's break it down into subtopics you'll need to master. Understanding data classification in Microsoft 365. Data classification in Microsoft 365 is all about organizing information so it can be managed and protected effectively. By assigning categories to different types of data, organizations can control access, ensure compliance, and keep sensitive information secure within their Microsoft 365 environment. Microsoft 365 offers both built-in categories and the flexibility for users to define their own classifications. Automatic classification uses predefined rules to tag data, while user-defined classifications allow organizations to tailor labels to their specific needs. This dual approach helps ensure that all types of data are properly identified and managed. Once data is classified and tagged, Microsoft 365 makes it easy to explore and view information based on its classification. Users can quickly filter, search, and review data according to the labels applied, making it simpler to track and manage sensitive content across the organization. While data classification and sensitivity labeling are not the same, they are closely linked in Microsoft 365. Understanding both concepts is essential for effective data management. If you are new to sensitivity labels, consider reviewing introductory resources before diving deeper. If you have feedback or spot anything that needs updating, please contact shapingpixel@gmail.com. Data classification in Microsoft 365 is all about organizing information so it can be managed and protected effectively. By assigning categories to different types of data, organizations can control access, ensure compliance, and keep sensitive information secure within their Microsoft 365 environment. Microsoft 365 offers both built-in categories and the flexibility for users to define their own classifications. Automatic classification uses predefined rules to tag data, while user-defined classifications allow organizations to tailor labels to their specific needs. This dual approach helps ensure that all types of data are properly identified and managed. Once data is classified and tagged, Microsoft 365 makes it easy to explore and view information based on its classification. Users can quickly filter, search, and review data according to the labels applied, making it simpler to track and manage sensitive content across the organization. While data classification and sensitivity labeling are not the same, they are closely linked in Microsoft 365. Understanding both concepts is essential for effective data management. If you are new to sensitivity labels, consider reviewing introductory resources before diving deeper. If you have feedback or spot anything that needs updating, please contact shapingpixel@gmail.com. Sensitive information types in Microsoft 365 explained. Organizations handle a wide range of data, from addresses to credit card numbers. To keep this information secure, they rely on a system called sensitive information types, which help classify and protect sensitive data. A sensitive information type is defined by three things: a name, a description, and a pattern. The pattern is crucial because it determines what kind of sensitive information is being detected, such as a bank account or a social security number. Each pattern includes a primary element and supporting elements. Supporting elements act as evidence to confirm a match. The proximity, or the number of characters between these elements, also plays a role in detection. Microsoft offers hundreds of built-in sensitive information types for organizations to use. Built-in sensitive information types are described using format, pattern, checksum, keywords, and definition. Regular expression validators like checksums help catch errors. Keywords further increase the chances of a positive match, making detection more accurate. The confidence level, shown as a percentage, indicates how certain the system is that sensitive information has been found. This helps organizations quickly assess and protect their data. To manage sensitive information types in Microsoft Purview, start by navigating to the Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. From admin.microsoft.com, head to the Admin Center and select Compliance. Once inside the portal, click on Data Classification. This is your central hub for managing sensitive information types. On the Overview page, you'll see a snapshot of your organization's current labels and sensitive information types. The dashboard features several tabs, including Trainable Classifiers, Sensitive Info Types, Exact Data Match Classifiers, Content Explorer, and Activity Explorer. Each tab provides tools for managing and understanding your sensitive data landscape. Trainable classifiers use artificial intelligence and machine learning to detect information that standard sensitive information types might miss. Exact data match classifiers allow organizations to create custom sensitive information types for exact values, which helps reduce false positives and works well with structured data like client or employee lists. The Content Explorer shows all data containing sensitive information or labels, letting you drill down into specific files if you have the right permissions. The Activity Explorer tracks actions taken on files with sensitive information, providing a comprehensive audit trail for compliance and security monitoring. Defining custom data sensitivity in Microsoft 365. Microsoft Purview lets you create custom, sensitive information types to protect unique data, like employee ID numbers. You can either copy and adjust an existing type or build one from scratch, depending on your needs. To start, navigate to the Data Classification solution in Microsoft Purview and select Sensitive Info Types. Click Create Sensitive Info Type to launch the creation tool. For example, if you want to detect employee ID numbers, name your new type accordingly and describe its purpose. After that, proceed to the next step where you define how Purview will recognize this information. Patterns determine how your sensitive information type identifies data. Begin by creating a low-confidence pattern using a regular expression that matches your employee ID format, such as a single letter, a hyphen, and 6 digits. For more accuracy, add a medium confidence pattern with supporting keywords like employee or ID
within 300 characters of the ID number. This helps reduce false positives. Once your patterns are set, test them by uploading a document containing sample employee ID numbers. Purview will show how many matches it finds at each confidence level. Adjust your patterns or keywords as needed for better accuracy. Exact data match, or EDM, is a sensitive information type that helps organizations pinpoint exact values in their data, reducing false positives, and adapting to daily changes. Today, let's walk through creating one using Microsoft's new experience. Setting up an EDM sensitive information type involves 5 steps. First, export your source data. Second, create a sample file. Third, create the EDM sensitive information type in Microsoft Purview. Fourth, hash and upload your sensitive data. Finally, test your new EDM type to ensure it works. In Microsoft Purview, navigate to the Data Classification solution and select EDM classifiers. Click Create EDM Classifier, provide a name and description, and define your schema using your sample data. For primary elements, Social Security numbers are ideal due to their unique format. Adjust settings for each column, then review and submit your classifier. Next, set up a security group in Microsoft 365 Admin Center, download the EDM upload agent, and connect it to your account. Use the agent to hash your data and upload it securely, following Microsoft's provided commands. Once uploaded, return to Microsoft Purview to confirm your EDM classifier is active. Test it to ensure accurate detection, and you're done. Document fingerprinting is a powerful feature that helps organizations protect sensitive information by identifying unique word patterns in documents. Just as every person has a unique fingerprint, each document template, like an invoice, has its own distinct pattern of words. This technology is especially useful for documents that follow a consistent template. For example, invoices often include fields like name, address, and credit card number. While the specific details change, the structure and wording remain the same. Document fingerprinting converts a blank template into a Unicode XML file, creating a hash value that represents the original document's text. This fingerprint is then used to apply data loss prevention or DLP policies. Unlike other sensitive information types, such as exact data match, which look for specific data like credit card numbers, document fingerprinting focuses on the template itself. This means it flags any document matching the template, regardless of whether it contains actual sensitive information, making it ideal for commonly used forms. Currently, document fingerprinting is available only in Exchange Online. It cannot detect password-protected files, image-only documents, or files over 10 megabytes. Organizations use PowerShell commands to create and manage fingerprints, with a storage limit of about 50 fingerprints per tenant. Let us explore keyword dictionaries in Microsoft Purview and how they differ from keyword lists. While both help identify sensitive information, keyword dictionaries offer more flexibility and scale, making them a powerful tool for organizations. A keyword dictionary in Microsoft Purview is a collection of keywords that can contain up to a megabyte, or roughly 1,000,000 characters. Unlike keyword lists, which are more limited in size, dictionaries allow organizations to manage large sets of keywords efficiently. To create a keyword dictionary, open Microsoft Purview and navigate to the Data Classification solution. Go to Classifiers and Sensitive Info Types, then create a new sensitive information type. When prompted, you can either upload a text document containing your keywords or manually enter them using the wizard. Once created, keyword dictionaries can be reused across multiple sensitive information types. Simply select the dictionary from existing options when editing or creating new patterns. You can add or remove words as needed, ensuring your dictionary stays relevant. Remember, changes to a dictionary affect all sensitive information types using it. Also, renaming a dictionary creates a new one instead of updating the existing name. For advanced edits, use Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal for PowerShell. Understanding sensitivity labels in Microsoft 365. Sensitivity labels are powerful tools that help organizations classify and protect their data, all without slowing down productivity. Think of them as digital stamps that mark how sensitive your content is, like confidential or public. When you apply a sensitivity label to a document or email, it can do more than just classify. It can encrypt files, restrict who can view or edit them, and even add watermarks. For example, a classified label might both encrypt a document and add a visible, classified watermark. Only one sensitivity label can be applied to a document or email at a time, but you can also add a retention label if needed. Sensitivity labels work across Office apps on Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, and the web. They also extend to Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365 groups, SharePoint sites, Power BI, and even third-party apps and services like Dropbox. Labels are stored in the metadata, so they travel with your files wherever they go. You can set them to apply automatically or recommend them to users for manual application. To use sensitivity labels, you must be signed in with your Microsoft 365 work or school account. Defining a sensitivity label is a key step in protecting your organization's data. Microsoft recommends starting by establishing a clear taxonomy for your labels, ensuring that everyone understands the different levels of sensitive content within your organization. A labeling taxonomy is simply a way to define and organize the levels of sensitive content you want to protect. While Microsoft provides default labels that work for many organizations, you can customize label names and terms to better fit your needs. If you create custom labels, consider adding tooltips to guide users. These tooltips appear in Office apps when users hover over label options, making it easier for everyone to choose the right label. Next, define what each label does. This involves configuring protection settings for each label. For example, a general label might add a header or footer to less sensitive content, while a confidential label could apply encryption, ensuring only privileged users can access that information. Finally, decide who can see and use your labels by publishing them in a label policy. Label policies control which users and groups have access, and you can reuse labels across multiple policies. To summarize, establish your taxonomy, define label actions, and publish labels to the right users. This approach helps keep your organization's data secure and well organized. Sensitivity labels are a powerful tool for classifying and protecting your organization's data. By assigning different labels, you can control how information is accessed and used, ensuring that sensitive data stays secure and only reaches the right people. While encryption is a common method of protection, sensitivity labels offer much more. Labels can restrict who accesses your data, what actions they can take, and even require specific authentication methods. For example, you can use labels to ensure only internal users can open confidential documents or emails, or limit editing and printing to specific departments. Sensitivity labels allow you to assign precise usage rights. The viewer right lets users view, reply, and reply all. Reviewer adds editing and forwarding. Co-author includes copying and printing, while co-owner grants all rights. You can also prevent forwarding emails or copying from classified documents, keeping information tightly controlled. Custom usage rights let you tailor access even further, assigning only the permissions each user needs. Before defining labels, talk to your end users. Understanding how they use data ensures your protection strategy fits real-world needs and keeps your organization's information safe. Implementing sensitivity labels and policies in Microsoft 365. A sensitivity label is like a digital stamp you apply to your files and emails, helping you organize and protect information based on its sensitivity. These labels are customizable so your organization can create categories that fit its needs, such as personal, public, general, confidential, or highly confidential. Sensitivity labels are stored as clear text within the metadata of your files and emails. This means that not only can your organization's systems recognize and act on these labels, but many third-party applications and services can also read them. In some cases, those third-party apps can even apply their own protective actions based on the sensitivity label you have defined, making it easier to keep your information secure across different platforms. In upcoming demonstrations, you will learn how to create a sensitivity label and how to publish it using a label policy. This will help you start classifying and protecting your organization's data more effectively, ensuring that sensitive information stays secure and well managed. Let us walk through creating and configuring a sensitivity label in Microsoft 365 using the Compliance Center. This process helps protect sensitive information across your organization's files and emails. First, navigate to Information Protection under Solutions in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. Select Labels, then create a new label. Give your label a clear name for admins, a display name users will see in apps like Word or Outlook, and a helpful description. For example, use Personal as the display name and This is the personal label as the description. Next, set the label's scope. For this demonstration, apply it to files and emails. Enable encryption to control access. Assign permissions so all users and groups in your organization become co-authors for labeled content. Leave offline access set to always and skip double key encryption for now. Turn on auto-labeling so Microsoft 365 can automatically apply this label. Add a condition: if content contains a U.S. Social Security number, the label is applied automatically. Set confidence to medium and instance count to 1 or more. With these steps, your sensitivity label is ready to protect sensitive data automatically and efficiently in Microsoft 365. Let's walk through how to publish a sensitivity label in Microsoft 365 using a label policy. Previously, we created a label called Personal. Now we'll make this label available to users across Office apps like Outlook, Word, and SharePoint. First, navigate to the Label Policy section. If you have not created any policies yet, you will see an empty list. Click on Publish Label to start. Here you will choose the sensitivity label you want to publish. In this case, select the Personal label and add it to your new policy. Next, decide who should receive this label. By default, Microsoft 365 selects all users and groups, but you can specify particular users or groups if needed. For this demonstration, we will include everyone in the organization to ensure broad coverage. Now, configure your policy settings. You can set the Personal label as the default for documents and emails. Additionally, you can require users to apply labels, justify label removals, or provide a custom help link. For this example, we will require users to label their emails and documents. Activity Explorer configuration and usage in Microsoft 365. Activity Explorer in Microsoft 365 is a powerful tool within the Compliance Center that helps organizations monitor how sensitive information and labels are being used. It provides a historical view of activities on labeled content, making oversight easier. To find Activity Explorer, navigate to Data Classification in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. Here, you will see several tabs, including Overview, Trainable Classifiers, Sensitive Info Types, Content Explorer, and Activity Explorer. Each tab offers unique insights into your organization's data. Activity Explorer lets you review actions related to sensitive content or labels, such as label changes or file modifications. It currently monitors activity across Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, and Endpoint devices. There are about 18 filters available, including date range, activity type, location, user, sensitivity label, and file path, allowing for detailed analysis. Before using Activity Explorer, auditing must be enabled in your Microsoft 365 tenant. You also need the correct permissions, such as being assigned the audit logs role in Exchange Online. Proper licensing is required for access. In summary, Activity Explorer helps you track sensitive content activity, provided auditing is enabled and you have the right permissions and licenses. This ensures your organization's data remains secure and well managed. Activity Explorer is a powerful tool that helps you track and review activities related to sensitive content and labeling within your organization. It collects information on actions taken with documents and emails, especially those containing sensitive data or labels, making it easier to monitor compliance and security. Some of the most common labeling activities reported in Activity Explorer include when a sensitivity label is applied, changed, or removed. For example, the sensitivity label applied event is triggered whenever an unlabeled document gets labeled, or when an email is sent with a sensitivity label. This is captured during the save action in Office applications like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, as well as in Outlook, SharePoint Online, OneDrive, Exchange, and Azure Information Protection tools. Similarly, the sensitivity label changed event occurs when a label is updated, and the sensitivity label removed event is generated when a label is taken off a document or email. Activity Explorer also reports events like files being discovered, labels being renamed, protection applied or removed, and retention label changes. The key takeaway is that Activity Explorer provides a comprehensive view of labeling activities, helping you stay informed and maintain data security. Securing email with Microsoft 365 encryption. Microsoft Purview Message Encryption is the email encryption solution within Microsoft 365, previously known as Office Message Encryption, or OME. You might still see the OME acronym in PowerShell commands and Microsoft documentation, but the service has evolved under the Purview brand. This encryption service is built on the Azure Rights Management Service, which is part of Azure Information Protection. Microsoft Purview Message Encryption is designed to secure email content, verify the sender's identity, and prevent unauthorized sharing or exfiltration of sensitive information. Its three main functions are message content encryption, secure multi-purpose internet mail extensions, and information rights management, each addressing a specific security need. When you send an email, the message is encrypted from plain or HTML text into unreadable ciphertext. This encryption can occur either in your email client or on the email server. Upon receipt, the message is decrypted back to plain text by the receiving server or the recipient's email client using a decryption key. Beyond content encryption, Microsoft 365 also uses Transport Layer Security, or TLS, to transmit messages securely. TLS is enabled by default, but message content encryption must be specifically configured to ensure full protection. Microsoft Purview Message Encryption is built on the Azure Rights Management Service. To get started, ensure Azure Rights Management is enabled. Then, verify that Microsoft Purview Message Encryption is active in your environment. This sets the foundation for secure messaging. Most enterprise-level Microsoft Office 365 subscriptions include message encryption by default. For those that do not, the service can be added. Essentially, Microsoft Purview Message Encryption is available to all Office 365 users in some form, making it a universal solution. Message encryption can be triggered in several ways. Common options include rights management templates from Azure Information Protection, the Do Not Forward and Encrypt Only settings, and mail flow rules configured in the Exchange Admin Center. These methods control how messages and attachments are protected. Current Office document types and XPS files inherit the message's protection settings. However, older Office files from 1997 to 2003 are not automatically encrypted, but are covered by information rights management policies. Attachments and messages exceeding 25 megabytes will not be encrypted. Outlook users within Microsoft 365 enjoy a seamless experience with encrypted messages. Others receive a notification email with a link to a secure portal. Gmail users can sign in with Google credentials, while Yahoo and other recipients use a single-use code. Customizing encrypted messages in your organization helps ensure that secure communications reflect your brand and policies. These customizations appear in both email clients and the encryption portal, providing a consistent and professional experience for recipients. You can tailor several elements of your encrypted messages. Options include changing the background color, adding introductory or disclaimer text, and linking to your organization's privacy statement. These adjustments help reinforce your organization's identity and compliance standards. The appearance of encrypted messages is controlled by configuration templates. By default, there is an OME configuration template, which stands for Office Message Encryption. This template can be modified to suit your organization's needs, ensuring every encrypted message aligns with your branding. To customize these templates, you will use the Set OME configuration command in the Exchange Online PowerShell module. Note that you must have global administrator permissions to run this command. Creating or removing templates requires advanced message encryption, available with an E5 subscription. For example, to set a background color, specify the identity as OME configuration. Then set the background color parameter using an RGB hex value. To add a logo, use a custom configuration and provide a PNG image file as the logo parameter. Microsoft Purview Advanced Message Encryption offers powerful tools for controlling sensitive emails. Two key features are message expiration and revocation, which help organizations manage how long external recipients can access messages and allow senders to retract emails under certain conditions. Templates in Microsoft Purview are more than just visual designs. With custom templates, you can set messages sent to external recipients to expire after a specific number of days, anywhere from 1 to 730. This expiration only applies to messages accessed through the encryption portal and is available exclusively with advanced message encryption. To set this up, use the new OME configuration command. Specify a template name with the identity parameter and define the expiry period using the external mail expiry in days parameter. Revoking an encrypted message is possible, but only under a very specific set of circumstances. This feature is available to Microsoft 365 administrators and the original sender. It applies to messages viewed through the encryption portal, sent as link-based, branded encrypted emails, and encrypted in Outlook for the web using the encrypt-only option. If you need to revoke an email in Outlook on the web, simply click the Revoke link in your Sent items. Administrators can use the Exchange Admin Center or the Get Message Trace PowerShell commandlet to find the message ID, check revocation status, and execute the Set OME Message Revocation command. Setting up Microsoft email encryption involves a few key steps to ensure your messages are secure. Let's walk through the process, from installing the necessary tools to validating that everything is working as it should. First, open a PowerShell terminal as an administrator. You'll need to install the Azure Information Protection package by running the install module command with the name parameter set to AIP service. If you already have it, you can update the module instead. After installation, import the module using the import module cmd-let. To check which version you're running, use the get module command with the module name and the list available parameter. Next, connect to the Azure Information Protection service. Run the get AIP service command to check its status. If it's disabled, enable it using the Enable AIP Service cmd-let. Remember, each parameter in PowerShell needs to be preceded by a hyphen for proper recognition. Now, open PowerShell as yourself and connect to Exchange Online with your Microsoft 365 account. To run the Test IRM configuration cmd-let, you'll need compliance and organization roles. Use Get Management Role and Get Management Role Assignment to verify your permissions. Finally, run the Test IRM configuration cmd-let. If everything passes, encryption and information rights management are enabled, and your Microsoft email encryption setup is complete. Let's walk through how to set up custom branding for encrypted emails sent to external recipients, making your organization's secure messages stand out with a unique look and feel. First, use the new OEM configuration command to create a custom branding template. Assign it a name, set a background color using the Set OEM configuration command with a hex code, and upload a logo image directly from your computer. The logo is not a hyperlink, but an actual image file. Next, in the Exchange Admin Center, create a Mailflow rule. Name your rule and set the condition so it applies to recipients in the gmail.com domain. Add a sender condition to ensure the rule passes validation, then choose to apply your custom branding template to encrypted messages. With the rule enabled, send an encrypted email from Outlook for the web to a gmail.com recipient. The recipient will see your custom background and logo. If needed, you can easily revoke the message using the Remove External Access link. Administrators can revoke messages by finding the message ID in Message Trace, checking revocation status with Get OEM Message Status, and revoking with Set OEM Message Revocation. The recipient will see that the message has been revoked. Information Governance in Microsoft 365. Data governance, also known as information governance, is essential for managing the entire lifecycle of your organization's content. In Microsoft 365, this means overseeing data not just within the platform, but also across different clouds, hybrid environments, and any data imported into Microsoft 365. Retention policies are a core part of data governance. They help you keep data only as long as it is needed for business, regulatory, or legal reasons, and then remove it when it is no longer required. Organization-wide policies let you set rules for how long content is kept or when it should be deleted. These policies can be applied to locations like Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and Microsoft Teams. Label-driven policies allow users to manually classify their content or have labels automatically applied based on certain criteria. Retention can be triggered by when content was created, modified, labeled, or by specific events, such as when an employee leaves the company. Automation uses trainable classifiers and metadata to streamline this process. By retaining only necessary data and removing what is not needed, you reduce your organization's attack surface and minimize legal and compliance risks, making your Microsoft 365 environment more secure and efficient. Retention policies and retention labels are essential tools for managing organizational data. They help ensure that information is kept only as long as necessary and is deleted when it is no longer needed, supporting both compliance and security. Retention policies define how long content should be kept and when it should be deleted. These policies can be applied to entire sites or mailboxes, and even to specific locations or users. They help organizations meet industry regulations and internal data governance requirements. Retention labels assign the retention settings defined by policies to specific folders, documents, or emails. Only one retention label can be assigned to a piece of content at a time. Labels can be applied automatically or manually, and they move with the content within Microsoft 365. Retention policies set the rules while retention labels apply those rules to content. For example, a company might use a 5-year retention policy for most documents, but a 7-year policy for tax documents, applying different labels as needed. Retention policies and retention labels work together to manage content, ensuring data is kept only as long as required and deleted when no longer needed, reducing legal and security risks for organizations. Let us walk through how to create a retention label in Office 365 using the Security and Compliance Center. This process helps organizations manage how long content is kept and what happens after its retention period. First, log in as a global admin and navigate to the Classification section in the left pane. Here you can define sensitivity labels, retention labels, and sensitive information types. Select Retention Labels, then click Create a Label. Enter a name for your label, such as Retention 1. You can also add optional descriptions for admins and users, but for this demonstration, we will leave them blank. Next, you will see File Plan Descriptors, which are optional and provide extra management features. For a basic label, skip these. On the Label Settings screen, turn on Retention. Specify how long to retain content, days, months, years, or forever. Decide what happens after, delete, review, or do nothing. Choose when retention starts, like when content is created. You can also classify content as a record, which restricts editing or deletion. Review your settings, then create the label. Now your retention label is ready to help manage your organization's data. Let's walk through how to publish a retention label using a label policy. After creating your retention label, the next step is to make it available to users by publishing it. First, switch to the Label Policies tab. You might notice there is no button labeled Create Label or New Label. Instead, you'll see options to publish labels or auto-apply a label. To publish, click the Publish Labels button. On the next screen, select the label you want to publish. For example, choose your retention label, then confirm your selection. Now, decide where to publish your label. You can publish it to all locations, including Exchange, Office 365, OneDrive, and SharePoint, or select specific locations. If you choose specific locations, toggle the switches for each service. For this demonstration, we'll publish to all locations. Next, provide a name for your policy. The name is required, but the description is optional. For example, you might name it Label Policy 1. Review your settings before proceeding. Finally, publish your label policy. Remember, it may take up to a day for labels to appear to users. That's how you publish a label policy. Data governance starts with getting your data into the right place. Today, let's explore the main ways organizations import data for governance, including PST imports, network uploads, drive shipping, and bringing in third-party data. Many organizations have large amounts of email data stored in PST files. These files need to be governed to avoid legal complications. Using the import service, you can bulk import PST files into Exchange Online mailboxes. Once imported, retention policies can be applied to manage how long mailbox content is kept, ensuring compliance and reducing risk. To get PST files into Office 365, you can use network uploads or drive shipping. With network uploads, PST files are uploaded to a temporary Azure storage location over the network, then imported into Exchange Online. If bandwidth is limited, drive shipping is an alternative. Here, PST files are copied to a BitLocker encrypted hard drive and physically sent to Microsoft, where they are uploaded to Azure storage for import. You can also import data from social media, instant messaging, and document collaboration platforms. Sources include Facebook business pages, LinkedIn, Twitter, Yahoo Messenger, Google Talk, Box, Dropbox, Salesforce Chatter, and BlackBerry. Microsoft 365 Compliance Center provides data connectors for these sources, making governance seamless and comprehensive. Data governance is essential for organizations to manage and protect their information. Once labels and policies are in place, it is important to monitor their effectiveness. That is where data governance reports come in. Within the Security and Compliance Center, several reports help organizations track their data governance efforts. The Top 5 Labels report highlights the most frequently applied labels, showing counts, locations, application methods, retention actions, record status, and disposition types. The Manual versus Auto-Apply report breaks down how content is labeled, displaying both counts and percentages for manual and automatic labeling. The Records Tagging report provides insight into how much content is tagged as a record or non-record, including the percentage split. Finally, the Labels Trend over the past 90 days report tracks label application trends and locations over time. These 4 reports cover labeled content across Exchange, SharePoint, and OneDrive for business. Users can filter the data by date and location to focus on specific needs. Keep in mind, Microsoft notes that the most recent data may take up to 24 hours to appear. To view these reports, navigate to Information Governance in the Security and Compliance Center, then select Dashboard. Data Loss Prevention, or DLP, in Microsoft 365 is a set of tools designed to help organizations keep sensitive data safe from loss, misuse, or unauthorized access. DLP identifies and classifies confidential or regulated data, then enforces policies to protect it. DLP scans messages, files, and documents for sensitive information, like credit card numbers or personally identifiable information. When a DLP policy detects such data, it can warn users or block actions, such as sending an email with restricted content. Policies are customizable to fit your organization's needs. Organizations use DLP to comply with regulations like the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, and the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, or PCI DSS. DLP also helps protect intellectual property and prevents accidental or intentional data leaks. DLP can detect and protect information such as credit card numbers, bank account details, passport numbers, and other sensitive text-based data. You can also create custom rules to safeguard unique business information. Microsoft 365 DLP supports OneDrive, SharePoint, Exchange, and Microsoft Teams with expanding support for other cloud platforms. For the latest plan details, check Microsoft's official documentation.
Let us walk through configuring your first Data Loss Prevention or DLP policy in Microsoft 365. The goal? Block Australian financial data from being shared outside your organization. Start by heading to the Microsoft 365 Compliance Manager at compliance.microsoft.com. Click Show All, then scroll to find Data Loss Prevention. Here, you will see the Policy section. Click Create Policy. You will see several pre-made templates, categorized by data type. For this example, select Australian financial data. This template protects tax file numbers, bank account numbers, credit card numbers, and SWIFT codes. Name your policy and add a description if needed. Choose where to apply the policy, all locations or specific sites like SharePoint. Use the default settings from the template and set the policy to detect when content is shared externally. Customize policy tips such as, you should not be sharing sensitive financial data. Set incident reports to notify your administrator every time the rule matches. You can restrict access or encrypt content, but we will skip that for now. Test your policy in audit mode first. Once you are confident, turn it on. Remember, changes may take up to 24 hours to take effect.
Data Loss Prevention, or DLP, policies in Office 365 help organizations protect sensitive information, like financial data, from being shared inappropriately. After setting up a DLP policy, it takes some time to activate and propagate across your Office 365 environment. For example, after creating a DLP policy to monitor Australian financial data, alerts were triggered within a couple of days. The system detected a credit card number in a pre-existing document called Contoso Purchasing Permissions and sent an alert to the administrator, confirming the policy was active and effective. When a user, such as Adele Vance, tries to email sensitive information, like a credit card number, to someone outside the organization, Outlook Online detects the violation. A policy tip appears warning the user about sharing sensitive data. Users can review details, report false positives, or remove recipients. If the user ignores the warning and sends the email, both the user and the administrator receive notifications. The administrator's alert includes details like the report ID, severity, and the original email, allowing them to investigate or respond as needed. DLP policies in Office 365 provide real-time protection, alerting both users and administrators when sensitive data is at risk, helping organizations maintain compliance and safeguard important information. Editing a Data Loss Prevention, or DLP, policy in Microsoft 365 is essential when you need to fine-tune your organization's data protection. Maybe you want to add more safeguards, adjust what gets flagged, or change what happens when a policy is triggered. To start, head to the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. Scroll through the menu, and if you do not see data loss prevention right away, click Show All. Select Data Loss Prevention to view all your current DLP policies. Find the policy you want to edit, such as Australian financial data, and click on it. A window will appear on the right with your policy's details. Click Edit Policy to launch the editing wizard. While you cannot change the policy's name, you can update its description, adjust where it applies, or include or exclude specific groups. You can also add new rules or modify existing ones. Click the Edit button next to a rule to change its conditions, such as accuracy thresholds for sensitive data. Add exceptions, update actions, or revise policy tips like suggesting users contact an administrator for false positives. Once finished, save your changes. Remember, updates may take 12 to 24 hours to take effect. Let us walk through creating a custom data loss prevention policy, or DLP policy, in Microsoft 365. This process lets you tailor security rules to fit your organization's unique needs. Start by navigating to the Data Loss Prevention tab and selecting Create Policy. Instead of choosing a template, select Custom Policy and click Next. Give your policy a name like Policy 1. Decide who the policy applies to by including or excluding users, groups, or locations, then proceed. Now create advanced DLP rules. For example, set up a high match rule targeting sensitive information such as United States and United Kingdom passports, United States bank accounts, driver's licenses, and social security numbers. Set the detection accuracy to 90 to 100%. If matched, restrict sharing, notify the user, and require a business justification for overrides. Next, add a low match rule for the same sensitive data, but with a 50 to 90% accuracy range. This rule notifies users and requires justification, but does not restrict sharing. You can reorder rules, edit settings, and choose to test, enable, or disable the policy. Custom DLP policies help protect data and can be tailored for different teams or scenarios. In the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center, managing data loss prevention, or DLP, alerts is straightforward. Alerts are flagged by severity, such as high, and each alert includes details like the alert ID, the matched DLP policy, and the user involved. For example, an alert might show that Adele Vance sent an email flagged for Australian financial data. To review DLP incidents and trends, head to the Reports tab in the Compliance Center. Here, you can access organizational data reports, including DLP policy matches, incidents, false positives, and overrides. These reports display incidents across services like SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange, and Teams. For instance, on February 14th, there were 11 DLP matches in SharePoint and 45 in OneDrive. You can filter alerts and reports by status, severity, user, or date range. This helps teams focus on active alerts or specific incidents. Reports also show details like the rule matched, sensitive information confidence score, and document titles such as Consoso purchasing data in an Excel file. Use these tools to monitor, investigate, and resolve DLP alerts efficiently. Adjust filters and review false positives to fine-tune your organization's data protection policies. Automatically applying labels based on data loss policy matches helps organizations protect sensitive information and manage retention. Let us walk through how to set up both retention and sensitivity labels and then apply them automatically using policy matches. First, in the Security and Compliance Center, navigate to Retention Labels. Create a new label, for example, Do Not Delete, and set the retention period, such as disabling deletion for 10 years. Once created, go to Label Policies, select Auto Apply, and choose your label. Set it to apply when content contains specific information, like Australian financial data, and target all locations. Next, create a sensitivity label. Name it, set the scope to files and emails, and enable options like encryption or content marking. For example, add a watermark header and footer with confidential, do not share. Enable the label for OneDrive and SharePoint if needed. Now, create an auto-labeling policy using a template, such as Australian financial data. Select up to 10 SharePoint sites, choose your label, and decide on common or advanced rules. The policy will automatically apply the label when data loss policy conditions are met. Policies start in simulation mode, letting you review matched items and results before activating. This ensures labels are applied correctly, protecting your organization's sensitive data efficiently. Creating and maintaining DLP policies for endpoints in Microsoft 365. Data loss prevention policies, or DLP policies, help organizations protect sensitive information by setting up rules and detection mechanisms like data matching, sensitivity labels, and trainable classifiers. But defining what to protect is just the beginning. A complete DLP solution monitors all possible exit points for data, including email, internet, cloud services like OneDrive, and even physical media such as USB drives or printed documents. The goal is to catch risky activity as close to the source as possible. Endpoint data loss prevention, integrated with Microsoft Purview, protects computers running Windows 10, version 1809 or newer, Windows 11, and recent macOS versions. Activity Explorer lets organizations monitor what users do with sensitive information, even across Office apps like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. DLP policies can audit and restrict actions like copying to USB drives, network shares, printing, and using Bluetooth apps. Browser activity is monitored, and users may be redirected to Microsoft Edge for better policy enforcement. File monitoring is based on MIME type, not just file extension. Devices must be onboarded through Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and managed with tools like Microsoft Intune or Jamf Pro. Only certain Microsoft 365 subscriptions, such as A5 or E5, enable full Endpoint DLP functionality. To onboard a device into Microsoft Purview, start at the Admin portal. Scroll to Settings, then select Device Onboarding. If you have not onboarded any devices yet, enable Device Onboarding. You will see a message noting that devices onboarded with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint will also appear here. Choose your operating system, either Windows 10 or macOS, and download the local script package. Before running, review the script. It requires administrator privileges and updates the registry for Windows Advanced Threat Protection. Open a command prompt as administrator and execute the script. If your device does not appear under Devices, try running a PowerShell script as administrator. You may need to temporarily disable antivirus software. A successful run closes the window automatically. Check the Alert section for confirmation, even if the device list remains empty. Next, create a custom Endpoint Data Loss Prevention, or DLP policy. Select Policies, then create a custom policy. Name it after your sensitivity label like Project Bluebook. Target only devices, add rules for sensitivity labels, and set actions such as audit or block with override. Test the policy by copying a labeled file to a USB drive. You will see a Windows Explorer message blocking the action and an Endpoint DLP notification allowing override. In the portal, corresponding alerts and activity logs confirm the policy is working as intended. Endpoint Data Loss Prevention, or DLP settings, let you control how your organization's sensitive data is protected on devices. Let's break down the key options you can configure to keep your data secure and your users productive. Turning on Advanced Classification Scanning and Protection sends data classification results back to the local device, improving the user experience. You can also exclude specific local folders from DLP policies and specify which apps and Bluetooth applications should be restricted. Browser and domain restrictions are divided into 3 parts. You can block certain browsers, redirecting users to Microsoft Edge. Service domains allow you to either audit or block activities on specific websites. These settings are only enforced on Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome with the Microsoft Purview Chrome extension. Chrome with this extension gains Edge-like control and will not be blocked. Sensitive service domains let you audit, block, or block with override when users print, copy, save, or upload sensitive data to listed sites. You can group multiple domains and apply them to DLP policy rules. Other settings include auditing file activity, managing printers, removable USB devices, network shares, and VPNs, giving you comprehensive control over data movement. Adaptive policy scopes for Microsoft 365 Records Management. Every organization needs to control who can access sensitive information. This is where policy scopes come in. For example, tax records or payroll data are usually limited to finance or HR teams, while sales pipeline documents might be shared more widely across departments. Traditionally, static scopes are used to define who and what is covered by a policy. These are easy to set up, but can be rigid. Static scopes often include entire locations, like all OneDrive accounts or SharePoint sites, and require manual updates when people or data change. This can become a headache, especially when targeting specific individuals or roles. Adaptive scopes offer a smarter solution. Instead of naming each person or site, adaptive scopes use queries based on attributes. For instance, you could target everyone whose department is HR and whose title is manager. This makes it easier to keep policies up to date as people move or change roles. There are 3 main adaptive scope categories: users, which use Azure Active Directory attributes, sites, which use SharePoint site properties, and Microsoft 365 groups, which also leverage Active Directory attributes. Multiple adaptive scopes can be combined for broader policy coverage. Let's walk through creating adaptive scopes in Microsoft Purview, focusing on users and Microsoft 365 groups. Adaptive scopes help you target specific users or groups for compliance policies with precision. In the Microsoft Purview Admin Center, expand Roles and Scopes, select Adaptive Scopes, and click Create Scope. Name your scope clearly, like Global Manager's User. Choose the user scope type, then build your query using Boolean logic. For example, to include HR managers, select Department equals HR and Job title equals Manager. Group these attributes for clarity. You can switch to the Advanced Query Builder to type your query directly, but note that changes in simple and advanced modes are not synchronized. Grouping clauses, like combining HR and sales managers, requires careful use of and or operators. Add more conditions, such as department equals finance, as needed. To target a Microsoft 365 group, like the Greek sales office, create a new scope where the email address starts with Sales Greece, @ Submit to finish, and return to the main page. Create a retention label, such as Greek sales bonus. Mark items as regulatory records, and retain for 7 years. Publish the label. Records management and retention in Microsoft 365. Records management is essential for organizations to effectively handle regulatory, legal, and business-critical records. Microsoft 365 offers robust records management tools designed to help organizations meet these needs with confidence and efficiency. With Microsoft 365, you can label content as a record, manage retention plans using the File Plan Manager, and create retention and deletion policies within record labels. These tools also enable event-based retention, review and validation of disposition, and provide proof of records disposition. Additionally, you can export information about deleted items and set permissions for record manager functions within your organization. When you label content as a record, restrictions are applied to block certain activities, and all actions are logged. Proof of disposition is retained at the end of the retention period. Before labeling, you must create retention labels, which can be applied to documents and emails. Documents can be marked as records or regulatory records. Regulatory records have extra controls. Their labels cannot be removed, and retention periods cannot be shortened. Microsoft recommends using regulatory records only when absolutely necessary. Records management in Microsoft 365 supports both manual and automatic retention and deletion actions, helping organizations maintain compliance and control over their critical information. Declaring a record with a retention label in Microsoft 365 is surprisingly simple. You do not need a lengthy demonstration to understand the process. Let us walk through the essential steps so you can confidently manage your organization's records. Start by heading to the Records Management section in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. Here, you can create a new retention label. On the Retention Settings screen, define how long you want to keep the item and when that retention period should begin. Most importantly, check the box to mark the item as a record. This step ensures your content is treated as a record, not just a regular document. Once your retention label is ready, you can apply it to SharePoint documents, OneDrive files, and Exchange emails. End users with write access to an Exchange online mailbox or members of the default group in SharePoint and OneDrive can apply the label directly from their apps. After the label is applied, users cannot delete the content, and only specific users can change or remove the label. This guarantees your records are protected and managed according to your organization's compliance needs. Working with archived and deleted data in Microsoft 365. Finding and recovering deleted Office 365 data is essential for maintaining business continuity. Let us explore the key areas where recovery is possible. First, we will review how to delete and restore mailboxes within Exchange Online. There are several approaches available, and understanding the process ensures that important emails are not lost permanently. Next, we will look at restoring Office 365 groups. We will discuss what these groups consist of and the steps required to bring them back after deletion. Finally, we will cover restoring OneDrive for business data. Learn how Microsoft 365 handles deletions and the process for recovering important files. Managing mailboxes in Microsoft Exchange Online is straightforward, but understanding the difference between deleting and restoring mailboxes is essential for administrators. Let us break down the key steps and concepts you need to know. There are two main ways to delete mailboxes and Exchange Online: soft delete and hard delete. A soft deleted mailbox is removed but remains recoverable for up to 30 days in the Azure Active Directory recycle bin. Hard deleted mailboxes, on the other hand, are permanently deleted after 30 days or when the associated Azure Active Directory account is hard deleted. If you need to restore a soft deleted mailbox, you can use the undo soft deleted mailbox PowerShell command. This command requires the user's full Windows Live ID and a secure password. If you try to restore with an incorrect format, Exchange Online will prompt you to use the full domain format for the account. Before running these commands, ensure you have installed and imported the Exchange Online Management and MS Online modules in PowerShell. Connect to Exchange Online using your credentials to manage mailboxes effectively. With these tools and steps, deleting and restoring mailboxes in Exchange Online becomes a manageable process for any administrator. Office 365 groups are essential for collaboration, but sometimes they get deleted by mistake. When this happens, everything tied to the group, like conversations, files, and tasks, is removed. Luckily, IT administrators have a 30-day window to restore deleted groups before they are gone forever. Restoring an Office 365 group brings back a lot: the group's Azure Active Directory object, its members and properties, the group email address, shared inbox and calendar, SharePoint team site and files, OneNote notebook, planner tasks, connected teams, Power BI Classic workspaces, and Yammer content if applicable. You can restore deleted groups using the Deleted Groups page in Outlook or the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. For those who prefer command lines, PowerShell is also an option. The key command is Restore Azure AD MS Deleted Directory Object. But first, you need to connect to Azure Active Directory and retrieve the group's unique identifier. After connecting to Azure Active Directory, use Get Azure AD MS Deleted Group with the property -all $true to list deleted groups. Copy the group's unique ID, then run Restore Azure AD MS Deleted Directory Object with that ID. Once complete, your group will reappear in the list of active groups. Restoring OneDrive for business data is a key part of managing users in Microsoft 365. When a user is deleted, their OneDrive content does not disappear immediately. Instead, Microsoft provides a structured process to help you recover important files. After deleting a user in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, their OneDrive site is retained for 30 days. Shared content remains accessible to others. After 93 days, the OneDrive site is permanently deleted and can only be restored by a global or SharePoint administrator. If you need to restore a OneDrive site within 30 days, use the Admin Center. After that, PowerShell is required. Connect to SharePoint Online, then use the Get SPO Deleted Site command to find the deleted site. Once you have the URL, restore it with Restore SPO Deleted Site. Remember, if a OneDrive site is permanently deleted, it cannot be recovered. To get started, install the Microsoft.online.SharePoint.PowerShell module, import it, and connect to your SharePoint Online service. Use the Get SPO site to view all sites, including personal OneDrive sites, and proceed with restoration commands as needed. After restoring, assign a new administrator using Set SPO User to ensure proper access and management of the recovered OneDrive site. Configuring data archiving in Office 365 is essential for managing information efficiently and securely. Office 365 offers several archiving options, including auto-expanding mailboxes, which automatically increase storage as needed. These features help organizations retain important emails without manual intervention, ensuring compliance and accessibility. Using litigation holds can create inactive mailboxes. This is useful for preserving data from departed employees, maintaining compliance, and supporting legal or regulatory requirements. Office 365 offers powerful archiving features for organizations, making it easier to manage and retain important data. Administrators can import and archive third-party data, ensuring compliance and streamlined data management across platforms. Office 365 allows administrators to import data from social media, instant messaging, and document collaboration platforms. This is done using Microsoft or third-party data connectors, or by working with a Microsoft partner. Supported connectors include Veritas, Telemessage, 17A-4 LLC, and Cell Trust. For example, a Microsoft connector for Twitter synchronizes organizational Twitter data into Microsoft 365, enabling compliance features like litigation hold, content search, and retention policies. Microsoft provides auto-expanding archiving from mailboxes in Exchange Online. Once enabled, users receive up to 100 gigabytes of archive storage, which can automatically expand up to 1.5 terabytes. This ensures users never run out of space, and folders may be moved automatically to optimize storage. Auto-expanding archiving can be enabled at the organization or user level. Administrators use PowerShell commands to configure these settings, ensuring flexibility for both entire organizations and individual users. To enable unlimited archiving, administrators use commands like set organization config and enable mailbox with the auto-expanding archive property. This allows tailored archiving solutions for every organization's needs. Archive mailboxes in Exchange Online provide users with extra storage and help organizations manage compliance. Let us quickly explore what archive mailboxes are and how you can enable them using two different methods. When you enable an archive mailbox, the user's primary mailbox is supplemented with an additional mailbox called the archive mailbox. Both are considered user mailboxes, especially for compliance features. The default Exchange Online retention policy automatically moves items older than 2 years to the archive mailbox, and items older than 14 days from the recoverable items folder are also moved. To enable an archive mailbox, use the Compliance Center, navigate to the Information Governance section, then select Archive. Here you will see a list of mailboxes and their archive status. Select a user, like Lydia, and click Enable Archive. The process runs in the background, and you may need to refresh to see the updated status. Disabling immediately after enabling is restricted to ensure proper processing. Alternatively, use PowerShell. Retrieve the mailbox with the Get Mailbox command, then enable the archive with Enable Mailbox Identity User -Archive. Disabling and re-enabling is possible, but prompts will explain the consequences before proceeding. Archive mailboxes streamline storage and compliance, making management and Exchange Online more efficient and secure. When an employee leaves your organization, Microsoft 365 retains their mailbox data for 30 days. After that, the data is permanently deleted. However, with inactive mailboxes in Microsoft Exchange Online, you can extend this retention period for regulatory or compliance needs. To create an inactive mailbox, first apply a retention policy or retention label using the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. The user must have an Exchange Online Plan 2 license or the Exchange Online Archiving add-on. Once the policy is applied, delete the user account. The mailbox then becomes inactive, freeing up the license for reuse. This process ensures important data is preserved even after the user leaves. If you need to recover data from an inactive mailbox, use PowerShell to restore its contents into another active mailbox. For example, you can inject all emails from an inactive mailbox into a new user's mailbox, such as Adele's, by associating the correct Legacy Exchange Distinguished Name or Legacy DN and running a mailbox restore request. When retention is no longer required, remove the hold or retention policy. The mailbox will be recoverable for 183 days, after which it is permanently deleted and cannot be restored. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 Reporting and Alerting. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 provides a comprehensive suite of security-related reports, all accessible through the Security and Compliance Center. You can reach this center using the URL displayed on your screen, making it easy to monitor your organization's security posture. The Defender for Office 365 File Types report highlights the types of files flagged as malicious by safe attachments. In Detail View, you can filter data from the past 10 days, while the Aggregate View extends this to 90 days. The Message Disposition report reveals actions taken on emails containing malicious content, helping you track how threats are managed. Additionally, the Mail Latency report aggregates mail delivery times across your organization. The Threat Protection Status report provides insights into malicious content and emails blocked by Exchange Online Protection and Microsoft Defender for Office 365. The URL Threat Protection report offers both summary and trend views, showing actions taken on URL clicks through safe links, so you can see how threats are being addressed. Other available reports include email security reports like top senders and recipients, the spoof email report, and the spam detections report. Mail flow reports, such as the forwarding report and mail flow status report, are also included. Let's take a quick look at how to view reports in the Office 365 Security and Compliance dashboard. This process helps administrators monitor security events and stay informed about potential threats. Once you're logged in as a global admin, start at the Office 365 Security and Compliance homepage. On the left navigation pane, scroll down and select the Reports option. This brings you to the Reports dashboard, where you'll find a variety of security and compliance reports available for review. For this demonstration, let's focus on the Safe Attachments File Types report. By clicking on its box, you'll see details about potentially malicious attachments, including PDFs, URLs, Flash files, executables, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files. Even in a lab environment with limited data, the report layout remains the same as in a production environment. You can filter the Safe Attachments report by start and end date or by specific file types. There are also related reports, such as the Safe Attachments Message Disposition report, which shows whether messages were blocked, replaced, or monitored. That's how you access and filter reports in Office 365 Security and Compliance, helping you keep your organization secure. Managing alerts in Defender for Office 365 is now streamlined through the Microsoft 365 Security Center. This unified platform brings together Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Office 365, Microsoft 365 Defender, and other security features, making it easier to oversee your organization's security. To get started, head to the Security and Compliance Center at protection.office.com. In the left pane, you will find the Alerts option. Here, you can access the Alerts dashboard, view current alerts, configure alert policies, and manage advanced alerts through Cloud App Security. The Alerts dashboard is fully customizable, providing an overview of alert trends, recent alerts, and active alerts sorted by severity. It acts as a single pane of glass for managing all alerting activities. From this dashboard, you can also create and manage alert policies efficiently. Alert policies let you track user and admin activities, malware threats, or data loss incidents. When setting up a policy, select the activity to monitor, define conditions for triggering alerts, and specify who receives notifications when alerts are fired. Let us walk through how to create an alert policy in Office 365 using the Security and Compliance dashboard. This process helps you stay on top of potential threats in your organization. First, log in as a global admin. On the left navigation pane, select the drop-down for Alerts. Here you can view the Alerts dashboard, manage alert policies, and access advanced alerts. For this demonstration, we will focus on creating a new alert policy. Click on Alert Policies, then select New Alert Policy. Give your policy a name. The description is optional, but you must specify severity and category. Choose High Severity to catch critical issues and select Threat Management as the category. Click Next to proceed. On the Alert Settings page, choose the activity to monitor. For this example, select Detected Malware in File. You can add conditions like specific users or file names, but we will leave these blank to monitor all files. The alert will trigger every time malware is detected in SharePoint or OneDrive files. Implementing and managing insider risk management policies in Microsoft 365. Let us walk through how to create an alert policy in Office 365 using the Security and Compliance dashboard. This process helps you stay on top of potential threats in your organization. First, log in as a global admin. On the left navigation pane, select the drop-down for Alerts. Here, you can view the Alerts dashboard, manage alert policies, and access advanced alerts. For this demonstration, we will focus on creating a new alert policy. Click on Alert Policies, then select New Alert Policy. Give your policy a name. The description is optional, but you must specify severity and category. Choose High Severity to catch critical issues, and select Threat Management as the category. Click Next to proceed. On the Alert Settings page, choose the activity to monitor. For this example, select Detected Malware in File. You can add conditions like specific users or file names, but we will leave these blank to monitor all files. The alert will trigger every time malware is detected in SharePoint or OneDrive files. Decide who gets notified. By default, the admin account is notified, with no daily limit. Review your settings, finish creating the policy, and turn it on immediately. Your new alert policy is now active. Creating an insider risk management policy in Microsoft 365 helps organizations detect and address potential data risks from within. Let's walk through the essential steps to set up your first policy. Start by logging in to the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center as a global admin. In the left pane, select Insider Risk Management. Here, you'll see an overview and access to the policy section where you can create new policies. Click to create a policy. You'll find templates grouped by categories like data theft or data leaks. Each template may have prerequisites, such as configuring an HR data connector to track departing users. For this example, select the Data Theft by Departing Users template. Name your policy and decide which users or groups it will apply to. You can target everyone or specific users. Triggers like user account deletion from Azure Active Directory require the policy to cover all users and mail-enabled groups for full functionality. Choose which indicators will generate alerts, such as sharing SharePoint files externally. Some options may be disabled unless enabled organization-wide. Use default thresholds, review your settings, and submit. Remember, it may take up to 24 hours for alerts to appear. Let's take a quick look at how to edit an existing insider risk management policy. We'll pick up right where we left off with our policy called My Policy, already visible on the Policies page. When selecting My Policy, you might notice a warning about physical badging data not being uploaded. This is expected if your environment does not use physical badging. There's also a recommendation to review all warnings, specifically noting that risk scores are not assigned to badging activities. To edit the policy, simply select it. Keep in mind, you cannot change the policy template itself, as that would create a new policy. You can, however, add a description or include specific users and groups. Since this policy focuses on Active Directory terminations, it's best to include all users and groups. You can also review the content you want to prioritize, but we'll leave that unchanged for now. Next, review the triggering events. Without an HR connector, keep the user account deleted from Azure Active Directory trigger. To update indicators, add the sharing SharePoint folders with people outside the organization. Review your settings, submit, and your policy is updated.
Let's walk through how to manually score user activity in Insider Risk Management using Microsoft 365's Compliance Center. This process helps organizations proactively monitor user behavior and assign risk scores based on specific policies. First, log into the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center and navigate to Insider Risk Management. Select your policy, such as My Policy, and choose Start Scoring Activity for Users. If you do not select a policy, this option will be unavailable. Once selected, you can begin the manual scoring process, which bypasses automatic triggering events. On the scoring page, you will need to specify the reason for scoring, the number of days to review, and the users to include. For example, you might enter testing as the reason, select 5 days, and choose a user like Lester Murphy. Click Start Scoring Activity to proceed. A green checkmark will confirm the process has started, though results may take a few hours to appear. Once complete, users from Azure Active Directory, or AZAD, will be in scope. If no risky activity is detected, no alerts will be generated, but risk scores are still assigned. Manual scoring ensures your policy is active, prerequisites are met, and users are monitored even if no alerts are triggered. This keeps your organization prepared and compliant. Now, let's dive into the latest real exam questions and answers for the Microsoft Certified Information Security Administrator Associate. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, we'd love for you to join our growing community. Just hit that subscribe button. Want a downloadable PDF of these questions and answers? You can grab it from our website, www.shapingpixel.com. Full link is in the description below. Let's get started and jump right into the questions.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, we'd love for you to join our growing community. Just hit that subscribe button. Want a downloadable PDF of these questions and answers? You can grab it from our website, www.shapingpixel.com. Full link is in the description below. Happy learning!